The next honorees made up the baddest band that only insiders knew. Millions of Motown music lovers who weren't a Motown lover bopped, danced, sashayed, I almost messed that one up, grooved to the catchy, funky music that these musicians played behind all of our favorite artists. By the time Standing in the Shadows appeared in the movie theaters, those same millions packed the seats in all to be entertained and educated.
To Motown stars, the 4 wooden steps leading down to Hitsville's basement, they were a bridge to a land of dreams. But to the studio musicians who shaped the Motown sound, the stairs were a gateway to a workplace, a cramped, smoke-stained, dimly lit room they affectionately dubbed the Snake Pit. For almost 14 years on a daily basis, those musicians transformed that basement into a hit factory. They rolled Masterpiece off the production lines in an hour or less, trading friendly insults as they worked. And they worked long, hard hours, and they did what needed to be done. And when they weren't working in the Studio A, they could oftentimes be found jamming at Millie's Chit Chat Lounge on 12th Street and other clubs all over Detroit.
From 1959 to 1962, the early Motown hits were blues-based, a product of the uncolored approach devised by the Motown staff songwriters and the producers in tandem with local blues and R&B musicians. Most of the arrangements were done on the spot by the musicians, occasionally with a simple horn background added, the earthly, down-home piano playing of Joe Hunter, Motown's first band leader, contributed a great deal to the success of hits like Pride and Joy and Come Get These Memories. Yeah. Although he left in 1964, Hunter's greatest achievement was bringing together the integral components of a world-class studio band.
From 1962 to 1967, Motown's resounding success was a powerful magnet to Detroit's local jazz and club players who brought with them a musical sophistication missing in the earliest recordings. Robert White's and Eddie Wills' signature guitar licks, the backbeat cooked up by guitarist Joe Messina and percussionist Jack Ashford, the heart-stopping rhythm locks by drummer Benny Benjamin, and virtuoso bassist James Jamerson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The deft direction with band leader and keyboardist Earl Van Dyke provided the unshakable foundation for Motown stars.
During this era, 1968 through 1972, there was a new catalyst for change in the Motown sound. Producer Norman Whitfield's psychedelic soul revolution ushered in the arrival of guitarist Dennis Coffey and Wah Wah Watson. Motown's recording schedule increased, bringing in other new players. The death of Benny Benjamin pushed talents like Uriel Jones and Bob Babbitt to the front. Still at Motown's core was the classic band led by Earl Van Dyke. After a decade of hit-making, the Funk Brothers performed like a championship team. However, the musicians sensed the coming of an end to an era. Digging deep into their lifeblood and many strains of Detroit's rich musical traditions, they redefined the boundaries of pop music one last time with the historic Marvin Gaye's What's Going On sessions. Within a year after the release of Gaye's album, Motown moved permanently to Los Angeles, and the most prolific studio band in recording history closed shop.
This is an incredible honor to be able to present this Pioneer Award to these incredible musicians, the Funk Brothers. As a musician and producer, they set such a high standard for all of us that we can't help but think about them when we're in the studio to try to hit the level of excellence that they put forth. So without further ado, I'd like to present this award to Mr. Bob Babbitt, who I played with when I was 17, and I couldn't believe it then. I can't believe it now. The man who first played boom, boom, cha-boom, boom in the studio, Mr. Uriel Jones.
Well, we don't want the young brother to have all the good stuff by himself. So we come back out here. You go ahead.
On the behalf of the Rhythm and Blues Foundation, I proudly present the 2008 Pioneer Award to the original members of the Funk Brothers.
Now, I think we've named all of them except Eddie Willis, and it is my pleasure to give you that. Eddie?
Yeah, bro. Hey, Eddie Willis.
I guess we better give one to Dennis then.
Yeah, we better give at least one. I got Dennis.
Man who brought the Wawa to Motown.
Hi. I just want to introduce the guys that were before us, and the reason we're still here is to keep their names alive. Before I mention those guys, the survivors we still have Jack Ashford on tambourine. Yeah. Joe Messina on guitar. And we want to mention a couple guys that also played with us, and they're really great musicians. They were some of the rhythm guys. On vibes and percussions, we had Jack Brokenshauer. On guitar, Ray Minette. On drums, Spider Webb. And on drums, Andrew Smith. Now, the guys that we're playing for, and we're playing to keep their names alive, and I hope that you people out there do too. First of all, the incredible drummer, Benny Benjamin. Yeah. And then the guy I get up here every day, and most of the stuff we play, I play his bass lines. And man, this guy, he just set the world afire. The great James Jamerson. Yeah. And then we had a percussionist who kept everybody laughing in the studio, Eddie Bongo Brown. Then we had a great keyboard player who was kind of the main guy that kept everybody in order and kept them in line and make sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to do. A pianist, Mr. Earl Van Dyke. Then we had guitarist extraordinaire, Robert White. Then when the film came out, before the film was shown on any big screen, Richard Pistol Allen, drummer, passed away. And then we had keyboard player Johnny Griffith, also passed away. Now, since then, the original Funk brother, the one that put the band together for Barry, Mr. Joe Hunter, has passed away. Oh, this is for their memory, and honest to God, people, let's keep it alive, because the music that came out of Motown, I mean, it was incredible. Yeah, what can you say about it? It's still with us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. I'm not very good at talking. I'm used to being in back of the person that's on the microphone, but I just wanted to say, years ago, old folks used to tell you, say, boy, when you're out there bragging, always put a little sugar on your words, because if it don't work, it make it a little easier to swallow. But you know what? For 45 years, I've been bragging on the Funk Brothers and never had to swallow a word yet. This is to Motown and Philadelphia. Thank you all.